Some days at work are unforgettable, especially when these kinds of coworkers are involved. From unbelievable mistakes to downright hilarious fails, these moments are proof that not everyone was made for the jobs. Get ready to laugh, cringe, and wonder how some of these people still have their gigs. If this were a TV show, that truck would definitely be the season finale cliffhanger. This guy turned his shower into a rooftop squat spot. Innovation or just madness? When the weight is too much, even a mighty truck decides to call it quits, dramatically. You'd think it was a scene from a drama series, oil spilling everywhere, chaos in the making. A massive tree turned his house into an open-air bungalow. Who needs a roof anyway? They say aim high, but this truck took it a bit too literally and lost its top in the process. One minute the bike's chilling, the next it's lying flat like a soap opera victim. Turns out balancing a bike, a hill, and a whole lawn isn't as easy as it looks on TV. And the winner of the "What Were You Thinking?" award goes to this genius right here. Lifting a quad with a tiny excavator? Bold move. Dropping it and breaking it? Classic fail. The guy's tractor just turned into a mobile disaster zone. Everything he loaded is falling off like a bad yard sale. Who needs a wrench when you can just squeeze through a hole and fix things like a magic trick? Well, that's one way to test the limits of your truck, straight into the mud. No questions asked. All that concrete didn't just escape, it made a grand exit through the scaffolding like it had places to be. That's what you call a double disaster. One truck's off the road, and the other's just hanging out on top. One sharp turn, and it was like the truck's glass decided to make an exit crash landing style. All the bricks fell into place, except for the one that was supposed to be the foundation of their sanity. The cement stayed in the mixer so long, it turned into a concrete sculpture. Who needs it fresh anyway? Looks like the truck wasn't delivering concrete, it was delivering a solid rock, literally. The truck was a little too packed, and gravity didn't hesitate to show it who's boss, turning a simple trip into a chaotic disaster on the road. One tiny crack, and the roller starts leaking everything inside, spilling out like a broken faucet that refuses to stop. Someone decided a power cord would make a better socket, and now they're living in a house where the plugs are on a leash. The giant fan just took a dive into the ocean like it was trying to blow the waves into shape. It wasn't just a collapse, it was a full-blown chimney meltdown, dust and rubble flying everywhere. When the massive pole fell, it didn't just topple, it made its grand exit, shaking the earth as it went down. Instead of steps, they ended up with a solid block of concrete as the whole thing just leaked out in a messy flood. One wrong turn and the truck's collision turned a wall into a crumbled pool, as if it were trying to drain the entire project. The massive bar spun around and flipped 3 excavators like they were toys in a giant's playground, leaving chaos in its wake. With barely any room to breathe, the excavator glided through the passage, proving that precision is key when your clearance is measured in millimeters. The whole small truck turned to stone as the cement inside solidified like a bad prank. Guess it was just a matter of time before it became a permanent fixture. While drilling away at the wall, the worker didn't notice he was drifting into another room, turning the wall into Swiss cheese before he realized what happened. 1 minute, the roof was up there, and the next, it was in the living room, turning a peaceful space into an impromptu demolition zone. He thought he was just digging, but one wrong move and he turned the construction site into Venice, complete with its own canal system. These workers on the construction site aren't exactly the sharpest tools in the shed, but they sure know how to create a scene. When the big truck broke in half, it wasn't just a mechanical failure, it was a full-blown spectacle, leaving the crew in stunned silence. This truck didn't just tip over, it toppled under the weight of the heavy rocks, as if gravity decided it was time to make a point. One wrong move and the big excavator transformed the site into a waterworks show, cutting through pipes like they were spaghetti. In a move straight out of a comedy sketch, the couch flew off the balcony and smashed into the truck's windshield, leaving everyone in stunned disbelief. They weren't just building, they were unintentionally demolishing, as one wrong move sent all the poles in the sea tumbling like they were in a game of giant Jenga. With bricks flying and balance nowhere to be found, the excavator operator's unique unloading style became an instant lesson in what not to do. The brand new fridge didn't even make it inside during the move. It took a nosedive, leaving everyone frozen in shock, just like it was supposed to do to the food. When the bricks fell from the crane, it wasn't just an accident. It was an unintentional construction site fireworks show without the sparkles. The worker didn't just drop a stone, it was a massive one, and when it hit the floor, it shattered into 1,000 pieces, turning the workshop into a disaster zone. This Latina wasn't just cleaning her garden, she was performing a horticultural fashion show, making every plant look like it was part of a photo shoot. The truck didn't just unload the pipes, it exploded them onto the ground, leaving the crew with more work than they bargained for. While tearing down the house, the giant facade didn't just come off, it came crashing down right into the middle of the street, blocking traffic like a giant wall of chaos. 1 million pipes crammed into 10 square meters. Who thought this was a good idea? The engineering equivalent of a game of Tetris gone wrong? As the man sliced through the tree with his machine, everyone held their breath, only for the tree to fall harmlessly on the material across the yard instead of on him. Forget about proper equipment, this guy was swinging a hammer to run a drilling machine, proving that sometimes innovation comes from complete confusion. Who needs a knife when you've got a chainsaw? This guy proved that you can slice through anything, including your sandwich, with a little creative thinking. One careless move, and the trucker managed to vaporize his entire vehicle in the parking lot, leaving behind nothing but a cloud of smoke and confusion. It wasn't just a minor mishap, the entire truck sank into the mud, turning the construction site into a muddy battlefield. In an instant, the mixer that was once rolling smoothly vanished into the earth, leaving behind a massive hole and a construction crew wondering how on earth this happened. From the crane at the construction site, a massive rebar fell, crashing down and demolishing the entire new wall, leaving the workers staring at the wreckage in disbelief. While the car was on a lift at the auto repair shop, things took a wild turn when it suddenly caught fire, sending workers into a frantic scramble to put it out. The machine in the workshop completely lost its mind, spinning out of control, slamming into everything in sight, and leaving a trail of destruction so wide, no one could believe how fast it all happened. What was supposed to be a simple task turned into a disaster when the worker sprayed the foam, and to his horror, it spread all over his car, leaving it looking like a foamy disaster zone. Due to the workers' lack of professionalism, the concrete was pouring everywhere, creating a disaster on the construction site as it spread uncontrollably in all directions. The giant palm tree came crashing down out of nowhere, falling right through the roof and completely destroying the house, leaving nothing but a pile of debris. What was supposed to be a routine voyage turned into a disaster as the massive container ship began sinking, with containers falling off one by one into the deep blue sea. Supposed to be a simple drive turned into a disaster when the huge truck caused the bridge to split in half, sending chunks of concrete crashing into the water below. What was supposed to be a cutting-edge building project quickly became a chaotic mess as the workers' unprofessionalism led to cracked foundations, collapsed scaffolding, and malfunctioning equipment, completely derailing the entire operation. The workers tried to lower the heavy concrete girder, but despite their best efforts, it wouldn't budge, leaving them frustrated and helpless as they struggled to figure out what went wrong. As he welded the rebar, this worker moved with such flair and elegance, it was almost as if he was choreographing a performance, turning welding into something stylish and graceful. In a dramatic fail, the truck tried to pass through the tunnel, but it got wedged in tight, causing a complete standstill in traffic and forcing drivers to come up with a last-minute plan while trying to avoid an even bigger disaster as the clock ticked and the frustration grew. Two workers with no prior experience tried to install the air conditioner, but their efforts turned into a complete disaster as wires were misplaced, the unit didn't fit properly, and they ended up causing a mess by drilling the wrong holes and misplacing tools, leaving the room hotter than before and everyone in the office questioning their abilities. In an epic show of inexperience, the worker attempted to drive the forklift through the narrow aisles of the warehouse, only to crash into everything in his path. Shelves were knocked over, boxes of products were scattered, and fragile goods were destroyed. As the warehouse turned into a war zone, other workers rushed to help, but it was clear that the damage was done and the day's work was lost. The worker was left standing in embarrassment, wishing he had asked for more training before taking control of the machine. Management quickly gathered to assess the damage, with all eyes on the worker, wondering how long it would take to repair the mess he created. Thanks so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and share it with your friends. Make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so you never miss out on our latest uploads. We'd love to hear your thoughts. Let us know in the comments which part of the video was your favorite or what you'd like to see next. Your support means the world to us, and it keeps us motivated to bring you even more amazing content. Until next time, stay safe, stay curious, and we'll see you in the next video.